All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I'm going to tell all of you, thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as we are simply sharing our passion with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. We are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboys coverage, as well as any and all Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the year. And as we say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we don't gloss over wins, nor do we overreact to losses. But this is going to be a first for us. The 2024 Dallas Cowboys Week 4 tie at home to the Green Bay Packers with the returning former Dallas Cowboys star, Micah Parsons. Let's jump right into our numbers here. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 31 of 40 attempts, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 20 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown. George Pickens, 8 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert, 4 catches and 61 yards. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches, 40 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the defensive side, Jack Sanborn, 11 total tackles, 6 solo. Kenneth Murray Jr., 8 total tackles, 4 solo. Reddy Stewart, 6 total tackles, 6 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Donovan Wilson, 6 total tackles, 5 solo. Osa Odighizuwa, 6 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Deron Bland, 5 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Donovan Ezekaraku, 5 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Shamar James, 5 total tackles, 1 solo. Trevon Diggs, 4 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. Malik Hooker, 4 total tackles, 2 solo. Kyer Elam, 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Jadeveon Clowney, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. Wanye Thomas, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. James Houston, 2 total tackles, 1 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for a loss. Dante Fowler, 2 total tackles, 1 solo. And Kenny Clark, 2 total tackles, 1 solo. Again, where do we begin with this game? Now, first off, going 1-2-1 is obviously a lot better than going 1-3. You will hope the Cowboys will be sitting at 2-2, but hey, it's a loss, not a tie. Does it hurt them for maybe playoff standings later on this season? But we'll see. So, of course, the big story that was going to this game was a return of Micah Parsons. And this is a story that's been told ad nauseum about Micah Parsons, about the contract negotiations that just fell apart that resulted in this trade to the Green Bay Packers. And I think we might have given our 2 cents on it. We are happy Micah got his money. You can tell he's still emotionally bothered by being traded. Of course, I truly believe that he was blindsided by that. I don't think Jerry Jones handled it the best way he could have. You trying to strike a deal with the man, and the man is naturally going to take it to his agent to get the best deal for him. So I understand Jerry's perspective of trying to say, well, I thought we had a deal, but you have to deal with his agent, and Jerry knew that agent was going to want more money, and rightfully so, because that's the agent's job. But it's something that maybe Jerry could have locked him in sooner, but understanding that Jerry still had to give contracts out to CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, so basically it was one player at a time. So we understand from Jerry's perspective where he was coming from. Now, the fact that Jerry Jones sat up there and tried to convince Cowboys fans that they'll be better off, which goes back to something that we were saying the night of the game. Going back last year and 2 years ago, there was a bunch of Cowboys fans who was talking about trading Micah Parsons then. And it's something I kept saying to myself, what other franchise does their fan base talking about trading their best defensive player? I promise you, you don't hear anybody in Pittsburgh talking about trading T.J. Watt. Besides Myles Garrett asking for a trade, you don't hear the Cleveland Browns talking about getting rid of Myles Garrett. even with all of his injuries, you don't see any San Francisco 49er fans talking about trading Nick Bosa or Fred Warner. So we thought it was absurd that there was this push on social media, and you know how we feel about X and social media, of people talking about trading Micah Parsons really for like the last year or so. And I don't know if Jerry listened to them, but Jerry is trying to convince people that the Cowboys are going to be a better defense without Micah Parsons, and quite frankly, they're not. Even though they are somewhat better against the run, they are awful against the pass. So that's going into the game last night. Definitely was weird seeing Micah Parsons going through the metal detectors in the visitors' locker room. So, but it is what it is. The sideshow is over with. But getting back to the action on field. Now, going to the good. We are going to give Brian Schottenheimer credit because the way that game began, the Packers were up 13-0. And the way the Cowboys began that game, listless like they usually do in the first quarter, they did nothing. An attempted extra point was blocked and returned for a safety. And there the Cowboys they found their momentum. They found their groove. It was something that they definitely needed, that momentum shift, and they played their asses off. I mean, they really could have packed it in. It could have been like other games where after 13-0, it really could have went off the rails very quickly, because we've seen that before, i.e. the playoff game against Green Bay a few years ago. So definitely the Cowboys battled back. We felt that they showed some heart. As much criticism as we give Dak Prescott, we have to give Dak his credit. Again, we gave you his numbers. Only 9 incomplete passes for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He played lights out. There's nothing else to say about that. Dak did his thing. If this wasn't a coming out party for George Pickens, I don't know what is. So without the injured CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens definitely stepped up and made a spectacular catch. I would even say this has to be a candidate for the catch of the year so far. I mean, over the defenders, over both defenders, caught it right there, feet in bounds, awkward angle. Definitely, George Pickens is a problem. He's a matchup nightmare. Now, we think he's hood crazy as hell, but you have to contend with it. So definitely an adequate replacement to CeeDee Lamb. Should be now, since Dak and George Pickens have now found a groove. I think when CeeDee comes back, that should open up the offense even more. We definitely want to give a lot of credit to Javonte Williams, who seems to be kind of getting back to his footing after recovering from the ACL injury. Again, 20 carries for 85 yards. That's 4.3 yards a clip with 1 touchdown. So he's clearly running very well. Definitely getting those good positive yards. So we kind of see what we see with the running game is definitely there. We definitely want to give the Cowboys credit, especially with playing the backup offensive lineman, the guard, and the center. We thought they definitely did their job handling Green Bay, especially up front. Again, really allowing no sacks, and the quote sack that was allowed was on a Dak Prescott scramble that was ran down behind by Micah Parsons. He pretty much tackled him right before he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. So technically, that's a sack. But I thought the Cowboys offensive line did an excellent job in blocking Micah Parsons. I noticed that Tyler Guyton was out of the game. I noticed that number 71 was in. So I should have done my research to figure out what happened, but I didn't notice that towards the end of the game. But all kudos to the Dallas Cowboys. Definitely Brian Schottenheimer called an excellent game. I mean, damn it, going blow for blow with Kevin LaFleur. So definitely an excellent job on that. We want to give Schottenheimer credit. Again, they could have easily folded, called the right game plan. The offense seemed to be in sync. So we have all the praise for the Cowboys, especially on the offense, battling back, being down 13-0 to get a tie. Now, of course, we can't talk one without the other. DaRon Bland signed a big contract and getting lit up for some scores. One score really, to the point where, especially that first touchdown to Romeo Doubs, who had his field way with the Cowboys. It was something that he didn't even get his head around, and that's bad. Trevon Diggs appeared to be benched for the early start of the game, so I got one cornerback who's making a lot of money, not even turning his head around on touchdown passes, and another starting quarterback who is benched for the first part of the game. that's a bad look, especially guys who are making a lot of money. Now, Trevon Diggs definitely made some few tackles here and there that was good. Another issue with DeRon Bland that we had was in the fourth quarter as the Packers are starting to drive. We were trying to understand and figure out where one play where he was trying to go for the interception, not knowing that, I don't know if he knew there was safety help or didn't know, but going for the interception, whiffed on it. The wide receiver catches it and starts racing down the field, and luckily for Donovan Wilson, made a game-saving tackle. So or a faster game-saving tackle. So we had an issue with that. We thought DeRon Bland really did not play well. Tyler Smith, who also signed a big contract before the season started, had 3 penalties in this game, ladies and gentlemen. 2 holding penalties. One was accepted, one was declined because I believe there was a double penalty or the penalties offset as well as a first start. So I got players who just signed big contracts having silly mental mistakes, silly mental errors, and bad penalties. Now, with Tyler Smith, he definitely is a Pro Bowl and an All-Pro type player. That was kind of the knock on him with some holding penalties. He tends to get lazy and sloppy in his technique when he gets beat. So it definitely revealed itself last night. So definitely something that we hope that he can definitely clean up. The Dallas Cowboys defense, folks. And while other Cowboys fans was rejoicing in the George Pickens touchdown, to take the lead, I was the only one that stated that I'm not going to start celebrating just yet because the defense has to get back on the field. And the defense could not stop the Packers in the second half. Yes, I know it was an offensive shootout, but we are Cowboys fans, so we're definitely going to comment about what the Cowboys didn't do on the defensive side. Folks, Jack Sanborn, even though he led the team in tackles, folks, doesn't he look like one of the slowest guys on the field? The explosiveness, the quickness is just not there. I know Cowboys are banking their hopes on DeMarvion Overshown, who's coming back from his second bad knee injury, but Jack Sanborn is not it. The athleticism is just not there, and getting lit up in space, it was just a horrible look. Now, we're going to give credit to the rookie Donovan Aziraku, who tend to have his coming out party. Again, 5 total tackles, 4 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. However, one critical mistake he made was on a Josh Jacobs touchdown run. He decides to go inside, he gets washed down inside, and Josh Jacobs runs right to the spot where he was supposed to be and scores a touchdown. So, rookie mistake. Those are things that can hopefully get better. Kyer Elam. On the last touchdown pass, sir, why are you backing up in the end? Why are you backpedaling in the end zone? I'm really trying to figure that part out. Just horrible, just piss poor play. Now, we definitely want to give credit, and we're going to tear him apart as Maris Leofau. Maris Leofau had a knockout tackle on special teams. But it's towards the end of the game when the Green Bay, whatever the running back or the receiver, dropped the pass. Clearly, he had about 3 steps. He pushes the man down, which would have been, I believe, either 3rd or 4th down, and gets a 15-yard penalty that results in the first down. That was literally on the Packers' either last drive or next to last drive. That was just silly. Like, seriously, you have to be a high IQ guy. You have to have the good wits about yourself in a tight game where your defense really hasn't made a stop and you just gave away 15 free yards. Those are the things that cost you games. Those are the things that not having high football IQ gets you, and guys not there. And I couldn't help but notice the Cowboys pulled them and benched them for the rest of the game, and rightfully so, because you can't have those kind of mental mishaps in a game like that. There was another player, and I forget who it was, makes a great tackle, I believe, on the ball carrier, and of course is celebrating, reaches down with his hand and punches his helmet that resulted in another 15-yard penalty. So definitely try to be buttoned up a little bit more. We definitely didn't agree with some of that behavior, which cost your team. But again, the Cowboys did what they had to do. Again, we were hoping they would have won the game, but things happen. The Cowboys ended up with the tie. But definitely all credit in the world goes to Dak Prescott for a truly wonderful performance. George Pickens with his coming out party. Azir Raku coming out with his coming out party. Reddy Stewart making a couple plays. So definitely the Cowboys are trying to kind of mix in the young with the old. Again, excellent job with 2 backup offensive linemen to be able to hold their own against the Green Bay Packers offensive line. From what everybody was saying at the beginning of the season, with the addition of Micah Parsons, was supposed to be one of the best defenses in the league, and the Cowboys offensive line with 2 backups actually held them at bay. So definitely some positives. We definitely talked about the things that we cannot gloss over. Well, I can't say in a win, but gloss over in a tied ball game. But definitely did what they had to do. So definitely an exciting game. We can make an argument, an early candidate for game of the year. We definitely know it's going to be on the NFL Network top 10 games of 2025. So definitely an exciting game. Great effort by the Cowboys. However, the Cowboys still have not beaten the Packers in a very long time. So they have to get right back on their box by playing at the New York Football Jets. This Sunday, we will be in travel at that time. So we might be able to catch the game. We might not be able to catch the game. But the Dallas Cowboys, again, will be traveling to New York, to New Jersey, because the stadium is really in New Jersey, home state, in MetLife Stadium. But they'll be playing at the New York Jets. I know definitely we'll be fielding phone calls from my good people back home. So until the next time, it's Chin Check Sports Radio. Signing out.